Osight has finally done it again. Welcome back to the channel, YouTube. And if this is your first time rocking out with us on the channel, we appreciate you coming over today. This is the one. I'm telling you, this right here, the Osight XR multi-reticle RMR Optic is now here. And this thing performed great out at the range. I had a blast with this, man. I really did. And it surprised me that they came out with this right here because I really wasn't expecting this. However, a lot of people online, I've seen in other people's feeds and things like that, they were commenting saying, hey man, you guys need to create a RMR footprint for optic like this, and they did it. They really did do it. I think you're going to be quite impressed on the review today. Osight continues to innovate, and it makes me wonder what's going to happen in the next couple of months. Seriously, like what are they going to create that's just beyond amazing, you know? So it's a to be continued. If you are Osight gang, drop it in the comment section below and let me know what your experience has been. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get into this review. Osight has done it once again. You all were online in my comment section saying that they needed to come out with the optic that was RMR enclosed, and they were listening. They dropped the bomb, guys. It is showtime. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the Osight XR multi-reticle enclosed 2 MOA dot and 6 MOA dot and also 32 MOA circle rechargeable optic. Let's get into it. Let's check out the box here. And of course, well-made box. Doesn't get any better than that. All right, solid, super solid box. That's it. You have your barcode there for more Osight information. Let's go ahead and open it up here. And you guys are going to be blown out the water on this one. All right, well, let's just start here as far as, you know, the presentation here. I mean, they have the thank you for being part of the Osight. I'm so excited. I just want to jump into it. And then they have the Osight XR. We're proud to introduce the industry's most innovative optic, and that's what they do. You know, you also have the tools right here, and we're going to go over all this in a few minutes. So let's take a look at it. All right, take this off, set this to the side, and there it is. All right, pull it on out and let you look at it real quick, a quick glance. Man, look at that. Nice. Got it a little dirty. I was doing research on it. Okay, that's it right there. We're going to talk about it. Here goes a charging cover. We're going to get into that too. So that's your red dot and also your charging cover. Let's see what's inside here. And usually they put the same exact thing in pretty much all of their boxes, which is standard. Okay, you have a USB Type-C connection cord, and of course you have to get your own adapter. It does not come with that. You have your tool right here, which has a skeleton face on it, pretty dope. And then you also have your lanyard right there. And they pack it all inside the package. I mean, you get everything. Set that to the side. Let's see what's in here. I believe this is the pouch. Yeah, this is the pouch right here. You get a little Osight pouch in the inside. So, oh, and you have your microfiber cloth to come along with it too. So that's pretty neat. It says Osight. And they just keep dropping technology back to back, man. It gets no better. Wait till you see some of the features I'm going to go over in a few minutes. So they have that right here. Of course, you have your screws, and there are the measurements right there on the back of the package. So make sure you look at that. You have your short screws, so you won't have to screw down into your extractor channel. And then you have your longer screws to go on the left right there. So that's the screw reference right there. Let's go ahead and open it up. And here we go. Once again, nice and neat. You have all your screws right there. Packaged very, very nice and neat. You can organize these once again. And then your short ones are always on the right. On the left right here, you have your taller ones. So just pay attention to that. And then on the top, you have your measurements right here, as you can see. So with that, they give you plenty of screws. You don't have to visit Harbor Freights or Lowe's or Home Depot for it. So, and then right here, you have your user manual. Now, this is very important. I always do my research with this whenever I get it, you know, for the reviews for you all and you know, to give you good information. So this is the README installing Osight XR, how to install it, of course, right there. And then on the back of it right here, you have how to zero it also, okay? And then you just have a wealth of knowledge of information in the inside, but we're gonna go over this in a few minutes. Here's your Osight sticker for your ammo cabinet, that's it, or your gun case or anything like that. So let's jump into the optic. All right, so here are the dimensions on the screen. And once again, I know how a lot of you all like to see how big these optics are. Now let's look at this design. Check that out. Newly improved design by Osight. Check that out. And we're gonna go over a lot of the features, so be patient. Stay in the video because you're going to want to know all of the information of this. So stay in the video. Very important. Check that out. You have your magnet on the top right there. I'll show you what that's used for too. You have your iron sights in the back and it has a special function. We're going to go over that in a few minutes. And then also you have your charging cover right here. And that's new and improved also. So we're going to go over that too. And speaking of design, doesn't this look very, very reminiscent of some of the RMSC optics that they dropped not too long ago? Some of the other variants, look at that. And that's it right there. So pretty much it looks like they took the design from like the Osight S and some of the other ones that look exactly like this. They took that design and kind of made it more beefier and chunkier to fit that footprint, to fit that RMR footprint. So that's exactly what it looks like to me. And it has a, you know, somewhat of a different design right there, as you can see, but it is very similar. So I think that's kind of where they got that design from. They took it from this right here and kind of built up on the idea of their RMR footprint. Another thing I want to mention right here, you know, this right here is going to be very much so comparable, probably better, okay, than some of the others that are online right now. And you're looking at Vortex, which has their enclosed emitters also. They also, Holosun has theirs too, but they may be a little bit more expensive than these. So look at this, you know. Once I go over some of the features, you'll see that it probably has more value than some of the other brands that are out, and it can save you a lot of money. So that's just something to consider. All right, so let's go ahead real quick. Let's put this on the scale and see how much it weighs. And here it is. And of course, this is a rechargeable optic right here. So it has a built-in battery. So the battery is already in here. Please consider that weight. So let's go ahead and put it on. And it's coming in at 1.6 ounces. 1.6 ounces on the scale. I've already mentioned that the footprint on this is RMR and this is IPX7 rated. So for those that don't know, I put it on the screen for you right there. It's a lot of detailed information. As far as the build quality, it looks like this thing is pretty hardcore too, just like some of the other rest of them. So you can feel how solid it is. And the optic is made of 70-75 aluminum, and that's regarding the housing. So you're pretty much getting the standard material build quality with 70-75. Let's flip it on the back right here and you can see some more information. So this optic has a built-in 89 milliamp rechargeable battery, and the charging cover right here, as you can see right at the bottom, has a built-in 800 milliamp rechargeable battery also. Now watch this. It's pretty amazing. This optic will give you 54,000 hours with 2 MOA dot, 25,000 hours with 2 MOA dot and circle, 35,000 hours with 6 MOA dot, 22,000 hours with 6 MOA dot and circle. Last but not least, I'm not done. You get 27,000 hours with circle only reticle. Now let's talk about how big this window size right here. This is huge. And like I said, compared to the RMSC window right here, which it looks very, very similar, you can see how much bigger that window is. So they did increase the size, and of course they would have to do that because it's built on the RMR footprint. Now these enclosed optics right here are great. I mean, they are great for preventing debris and moisture, also water in the optic, which can cause issues with the emitter. So once you get dirt and grime inside that emitter right there that's in the back, I'm going to turn it on in a few minutes, it'll make it kind of starburst, or you'll have like fragmentation of light in the inside. It'd be kind of spotted. So with this right here, you never have to worry about it. All you have to do is just clear that window out in the front, clear it out in the back with the microfiber cloth, and you're good to go. Now, one of the new features that Osight has included with this freaking optic right here, man, watch this. Y'all let me know in the comment section below if this is the first company to do this, but you have pop-up rear iron sights. Insane. So right here, you have your iron sights right there, okay? And it's kind of hard to press either one of these. It's best to press them at the same time. And what you do is just take your thumb or any other finger, your index finger, press really hard, and boom, you can pop them down, right? Look at that. So if you don't want to run iron sights in the rear, you don't have to have them there. They're completely flush against the rear part of the optic right here. And the way that you allow them to pop back up, you just hit this side button right here. Watch this. Trying to get it in focus so you can see it really good. They pop right up. And then you can run a co-witness the way that you want to right there. So I thought that was pretty neat. And the crazy thing about these, they're very audible, as you can hear. So when you press the button, you know that they have engaged right there. And then when you press them down, you also hear a click by doing so. So that's something that's pretty sweet that I was like, man, the people are gonna love this. Now let's look at some of the standard stuff that most optics have on it. Right here, you have your elevation, which is up and down, and then you have your windage, which is left and right here. So let's test. You know, we got to do the audible and tactile test. So let's go ahead real quick and see if we get audible and tactile clicks. Let's go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. See, now they made them louder this time. I can hear it. Can you guys hear it? Yep. Yes, so they are tactile and they are audible. So they did a really good job with that. All right, let's jump into the paint job here. So as far as the Cerakote right here, it looks like it's an all black, a matte black, and I love it. And of course, once again, the branding right here or your fonts are in all black. I'm telling you, these companies are catching on, guys. They even did the XR in all black right there. And then when you turn it on the other side, you have the same thing. So I just think that's what a lot of consumers are wanting, are the darker type branding fonts right there. Now let's go back to the magnet right here. It can gravitate to your charging cover right here. So of course, I think you probably have a slab of metal or another magnet, something like that. And then boom, it gravitates right to the charging cover. And you can see it light up like a Christmas tree right there. Now, if you go ahead and you hit this button on the side right here, it will tell you how much energy you have left inside the battery of your optic right there. So you can take it out and then boom, right here. I charge this up really, really good. And it shows you that I'm fully charged. I'm 100% charged. Now they did add something else that's pretty neat on here. They added the little Osight at the top. They didn't have this on any of their other charging covers, so that's something new. And of course, the charging cover can be charged with a USB Type-C connection right here. And the charging cover can charge your optic without it being plugged into the wall as long as it's charged up. Now let's look at some of the function buttons right here. So you'll know how to be able to use it. So you have your plus rubberized sign right there, and you have your minus right there. And the way that you turn it on, all you do, you can simply tap the plus or minus sign to turn your optic on, your red dot on. So let's go ahead, tap it, boom, and it's turned on. And I'm gonna go ahead and brighten it up. And this thing, when I say it's crazy bright, it is bright. So let me turn it down a little right there. So that's how you turn it on. Now let's go ahead and test real quick, and I'll show you that the minus button also can turn it on. So let's tap that. It's simply a tap, boom, and then your red dot is on. Once again, it's a little bit different on how to turn this off. So what you're gonna do is press simultaneously the plus and the minus buttons at the same time. So what I think you're gonna do is just short, long press right here, and then it's gonna turn it off. So once again, simultaneously at the same time, boom, and it'll turn right off. Let's go ahead and get into the reticles that this has. And this thing, when they say multi-reticle, this is pretty true. So this has a multi-reticle system. So you can switch between 2 MOA dot and 6 MOA dot only, or dot and circle for both options. Don't forget, you also have a 32 MOA circle. So we're about to look at them real quick. So here we go. This one right here is your 2 MOA dot. That's it. And of course, guys, I can brighten it up, but it'll be a little bit too bright for the video. So I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. Okay, so that's your 2 MOA dot right there. And this thing is crazy bright. So that's the 2 MOA. Of course, there's a little distortion because of the camera. 2 MOA right there. Now we're gonna go ahead and switch it here to the next reticle, holding down here. And this one right here, from what I can see, is the circle and the dot. So this is the circle and the dot reticle. And like I said, there is a distortion in the screen, but man, this thing is clearer than ever. Let's go to the next reticle here. Hold down, and let's see. This one right here, from what I can see, this is the 6 MOA dot. So this is a bigger dot. This is the 6 MOA dot right here, and you would use this for close quarters, you know, close range for the bigger dot right there. Let's keep going. Let's see what the next one is here. The next one here is the 6 MOA dot and circle. And when you really look through this and see how crispy it is, you'll see that the dot in the middle is a lot bigger. And it kind of fills up that inner area right there of that circle. Next up, let's go ahead and see if I can get it in sight here. Let's see. Next up, the next reticle is the circle only. So let me brighten it up. That's it. So the next reticle is the circle only, which is the 32 MOA circle. So I hate that it's a distortion here. Now, as far as reticle switching, the way that you do it is pretty simple. You press and hold the minus button right here for 2 seconds, and it will change to the next reticle. So let me go ahead and show you. That's it right there. It'll be 2 seconds, and you just long press it for 2 seconds. So let's hold it down, 1, 2, and it should change. And there it is. You saw it change right there. This also has motion detection, which is pretty neat. And I think most of their optics have that. This will turn off automatically after 3 minutes of an activity and wakes up in an instant. If you double press and hold the minus button right here for 3 seconds, your dot will flash once, which means motion detection is on. If you double press and hold for 3 seconds again, the minus right here, it'll flash twice, which means motion detection is off. Something really, really neat that they put in all of their optics, and I really appreciate this because you always want to know, is my battery low? A lot of the old school traditional optics that are out right now, they don't have this capability. So the indicator is located right here between the plus and the minus sign. And I'm gonna go ahead and hit that button so you can see it and get it in focus here. So let's get it in focus. I really want you to see this. And there it is right there. You can see the green right there in the middle. And this indicator will turn different colors. So let me explain. So if the indicator is green, it's more than 50% charged. If the indicator is yellow, it's between 50% and 20%. If the indicator is red, it's between 20% and 10%. If the indicator is blinking red, it's below 10%. So that's why I really like this feature in this optic. Something else to take note on this optic, it takes an hour and a half to fully charge the optic. Now, of course, we're going to talk about the pros and the cons with this optic. Man, it's time to discuss and talk about some things. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the bad stuff. All right, let's start with the cons. I really wish they would start releasing the red dot and green dot options at the same time. It makes sense. So individuals can make a decision on what they want to purchase in the beginning. So what I'm noticing is that Osight will release each different variant or each different model afterwards. And I don't know if that's to gain more sales or if they're seeing a positive in that. But I think for the consumers, we want that option up front and we want to be able to choose up front. So I just think that's something that they should do in the future. It would be nice to have, you know, one come out with red dot reticles and green dot reticles all in one optic. I think this in turn would also create sales. Something else that I noticed about this optic when I had it out at the range is that you do get kind of small fragments of the emitter light in very far border of the optic in that red color and low light setting. So you do see that, but it's very faint. It doesn't prevent you from seeing the red dot. And I noticed this in a lot of other branded optics for some reason. Let's talk about the pros right here. Of course, the large window, you know, they do a great job of having those larger windows on their optics. So this is great. And also, I don't know if I mentioned this, but the coating on the window right there helps prevent glare. So that's just another great thing about this optic. One of their new ideas, the pop-up sights. So of course, you can't beat it. They're pressed down right there. I'm gonna go ahead and pop them up once again. Man, that's just something different. So I think a lot of people are gonna have use for this, you know, especially depending on the types of shooting that they'll be doing out there at the range. We're going to talk about it again, the rechargeable batteries. Some like it, some don't. So I am sure they're going to have a battery option that'll be coming out for this, you know, a little pop-out side tray battery. Clear window display right there. You can't beat it. So that's something I've noticed. They always have really clear glass and a lot of goodies in the box at a reasonable price range. So that's something that they always win on. They nailed it out the park. Once again, they nailed it out the park with the multi-reticle system. And you can see that right here on the box, and it gives you all that detailed information right there. And of course, we have to go back to the emitter. The emitter is bright as hell. You know, ever since I mentioned that emitter being bright, look at that. This thing just, man, it just screams. I'm super bright right there. So that's something else that I really like about this optic. Now I'm gonna let y'all know right now, I am not gonna do any type of torture test with mine. I'm sorry, I'm not doing any torture tests. I'm sure you'll be able to catch those online. Come back to the channel, drop it in the comment section below on what you find. But so far, it looks like they met the demand on what people were saying online. So I think it's pretty sweet. Let's go ahead real quick, put it on the gun of my choice and get this boy out to the range. All right, so here's my setup right here. We are rocking it on the Fusion Firearms XF. And this thing right here can take Glock mags, original OEM Glock mags. Of course, that's what I run in my gun. But this is what it looks like. Now, keep this in mind. With this red dot right here, I'm running a thicker plate. So this is the plate, unfortunately, that came with these. So it's sitting a little bit higher, but if you do have a direct mount firearm with no plate, this is gonna sit a lot more flush down in that area. So it's gonna give it a better look. But this is what I'm getting out of this. And I thought this was pretty ideal because I love this gun. I thought this was pretty ideal to put this on there and try it out at the range. So I'm gonna give you different angles on kind of, you know, what it looks like with it being on. If I didn't wanna rock extended mag right here, I can go ahead, grab the 15 rounder, and then I have a look that looks like this. So we're about to get it out to range and see what this thing is all about. And right here, I have to show y'all This is the new Olight PLX that just launched. And this thing is stupid bright right here. It has strobe mode on it also. And this light is a dual light. So it has flood and it also has a spotlight out of this little light right here. So this one, I'm telling you, is giving Streamlight a run for their money right here. So if you want to see the video on this, you will see it on the screen right now. So make sure you check my channel for the video for this light right here. But this light is so damn dope. So it's just a really amazing combination right here. Man, they nailed it with this one. It's beautiful, guys. Gotta get one. Did he say? Did he say? Did he say? Let's go. Yeah, a little bit further off. Let's get it though. Let's get it. Oh, Jamie, it's okay. One more cow reloaded. Yeah, that's it. All right, so hopefully that was enough detailed information about this Osight XR. And if you do have any other questions, just drop it in the comment section below and I'll make sure to answer any questions that you have about this. And I did a little bit of digging and I found out about their warranty. And it states, Osight offers a global lifetime warranty on its red dot optics covering defects in materials and workmanship for the product's life, including the structure, battery, LED, and lens, promising repair or replacement. This warranty excludes normal wear, misuse, loss, or theft, with claims processed through their website by submitting product detail and photos. So I feel like that's pretty fair. All right, so we're about to go ahead and close out. Again, light up that comment section. Let me know if you're gonna jump on this and get one of these amazing optics, or let me know if you're gonna get a different type of optic that they may have already manufactured, like a RMSC optic or another one of their RMR footprints. I do wanna give a big shout out to Osight for sending this over to the channel, and make sure that you subscribe on the channel so you don't miss any newly drops coming out, all right? Please like, comment, subscribe, smash that notification bell so when I roll out the latest videos, you'll be able to receive them. And remember,
I'm not from this planet.